Yeah, welcome to another great late night podcast. I'm your.
That's
Damn it!
okay. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. Oh, you gonna keep it?
Yeah, just go.
Oh Lord, y'all, it's been a long night, but welcome to another late night podcast with Bridget and Holly. I'm your host Holly,
And I'm your host, Bridget.
and before we get started, y'all, make sure if you have not yet hit that subscribe and notification bell, please do so you can tune in every Tuesday, every Friday for our new podcast shows. Tonight we're going to be doing a podcast on the most rare and weird phobias that you've likely never heard of before. There's going to be some that you're going to be like, oh yeah, I've heard of that. But as we're talking about these, there's going to be some where you're like, oh my God, I am that. So we're
I
going to
might
start
not
with
realized
Bridget.
it.
And Bridget is going to tell us a little bit about phobias.
Yeah, so first of all, guys, there are over 500 named phobias. Okay.
That's crazy.
It is. It is. And we're all, I've got some that I didn't realize I had when we started doing these lists that I'm like, I got that. I got that. And sometimes a phobia is not necessarily, like a scared to death fear. It's just like, a cringing, like, don't like it, don't care for it. So, the commonality phobias are quite common. It's estimated around 12% of people will experience a specific phobia at some point in their life. Okay.
That is true.
Phobias can develop from a variety of factors, including genetics, brain chemistry, life experiences, and traumatic events. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
There's diverse types of phobias. They're incredibly diverse. They come from social phobia to public a fear of public places, which is agoraphobia. We're gonna have trouble pronouncing some of these, I'm sure.
Just bear
Um,
with us.
yeah, there it's evolutionary. Some psychiatrists believe that certain phobias, like fears of snakes and heights, may have an evolutionary basis. Okay, so in other words, that's something that come from our ancestors, basically. Um, and it's just one of those things that's pretty common. So if you have one, don't feel like you're weird because
Yeah,
I
don't
have them
think you're
too.
alone.
Yep.
No. And did you know, fun fact, that more women are likely to have phobias than men?
Mm.
I wonder why, but
I think it's because we're overthinker. Well, like we're more thinkers. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, and that does make sense because as a female, we take care of the house, we take care of the kids, we're, making sure, dinner's on the table, and our brains are nonstop thinking about what can we do for our kids and our husband and make our family right. So that makes sense as to why we have more phobias.
Yep, I think so. You want to go ahead with your first one?
Okay, so y'all, I've never heard of this before. Bear with me again as I try to say this, but it's called arachibutyrophobia.
Spell it.
Arachibutyrophobia. Arachibutyrophobia, which is a fear of
Retrophobia.
peanut butter sticking to the roof of your mouth. Now, it is a rare phobia, but it says it can stem from a greater phobia of like sticky things or the fear of choking. It may also stem from, like, as Bridget said earlier, some phobias are caused by traumatic events. This could be coming because of a traumatic incident with peanut butter, such as choking on it or even being allergic to it. And I kind of can see that because peanut butter is so thick that it sticks. So I could imagine, I don't have a fear of it, but I could imagine having a wad stuck to the roof of your mouth and you can't hardly swallow and get it down. But I didn't think that would be a fear with peanut
Mm-hmm.
butter. Mm-hmm.
Yep. People sometimes have that, and I had that down on as
Yes.
one of mine. Another one is a weird phobia. It's called ergophobia. ERGO. Phobia, ergophobia. It's a fear of work. I know a lot of people that have that.
I know a lot of people that have that too, and that's a damn shame.
But
That should not be a
sufferers
phobia.
I know, but sufferers of ergophobia experience undue anxiety about the workplace environment, even though they realize their fear is irrational. So it could be just the fact of actually having to go to work, or the environment around work, or sometimes the people that you have to work with. But yeah,
Yeah.
it's a fear of work.
That probably could tie into other fears too, like social anxiety and stuff, and being claustrophobic because you're, around all these people and it's making you feel closed in. So I bet that ties in with a lot of different other ones. Um, Another fear is, and I know I have this because it's called arithmophobia, and that's the fear of numbers. So people with this fear usually experience anxiety associated with doing math or dealing with numbers in general versus fear of actually seeing the number symbols. I do not like sixes. I do not like triple sixes. I don't like fives. Like I, I know I've got to have that because if I go to the store and something is rang up and it's $6.66, oh no, you can bet I'm going to get a candy bar, a soda, or something because I'm not giving you $6.66. But that
Hmm.
is also a pretty common fear um as well with people. But
Hmm.
yeah, I had that.
How about that? Hmm. I don't like 666 either, but I think it's more of the omen behind it more than it is like, oh, I'm just afraid of numbers kind of thing. But I know
Yeah,
what you're saying.
that's a mixture of mine too. Yeah, because I feel like that's just evil,
A bad
and it's
omen.
like, ooh,
Hmm. So there's one called taphophobia. 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 And it's the fear of being buried alive.
wow, I would have never thought that's what they would call it.
Hmm. But they said a lot of times that stems from negative or traumatic events like being buried in the sand on the beach for fun and being left for hours. Things like that. Like if you've ever been in a situation where you were trapped, like I said, a little bit of claustrophobia, but if you were ever in a situation, you could develop that over time, and
Oh
just
my
be afraid of being
god.
buried alive. Yeah, I don't think I would like being buried in the sand and being packed in it either. I think that would make me feel very,
Mm,
you know.
yeah, I wouldn't either. Um, this one, yeah, but I tell you, I laughed so hard because in my head I'm sitting here thinking supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Sorry if that freaked any of y'all out.
I already know
But
what you're gonna say, but go ahead.
yep, it's hippopotamonstrossus quipdalophobia, and I'm not even going to spell it, but it's a fear of long words. This
Hmm.
may occur while reading aloud in front of the class as a child. The phobia can also be common in people with dyslexia.
Yeah.
Now, I get that, fear of, reading in front of the class because I used to be like that when I was younger, but it
Right.
didn't give me a fear of long words. And when I saw it, I was like, oh my God. And I have a few friends who are dyslexic.
Yeah.
And it makes me want to ask them, like, if I say supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, is that going to freak you out?
Yeah.
Like, that's
Well,
crazy.
and that I have that word too, and it said sometimes they can have that fear because they have feelings of shame or fear of being ridiculed for mispronouncing a long word.
Oh, that makes sense too.
Yep. But yeah, so it's not actually seeing them; it's having to say them. So there's another one called uh gamma phobia, and gamma phobia is the fear of marriage, relationships, or commitment in general.
I had that one on my list too.
And you know what? I think all my kids have gamma phobia. But the
Really?
reason, yeah, yeah, you got to realize, my son's 33, never been married. My other son's 30, never been married. He's engaged, but hadn't seen the anything about a marriage yet. And my daughter is 25 and not engaged or married. Um,
Oh, wow.
but when my kids were young, I really, really pounded it into them, because I went through marriage and divorce. So we talk about the reason these phobias can come is because of traumatic event or things like that. And I think
Yeah.
they have it because I've always pounded in them. Make sure you find the right person. You don't want to get married to get divorced. You don't want to construct your life and then have to deconstruct it and get married again because that's a hard thing. It's a hard
Yeah.
thing building a life with somebody and then having the rug pulled out under you and then
It
having to tear
is.
down that life and rebuild it, you know.
Yeah, like, 10, 15 years has gone by, 20 years.
Yeah.
And here you are, got to start all over. It's very scary. Very
Yeah.
scary.
So they say people with gamma phobia are not really scared of the commitment. They're more scared of a painful breakup, divorce, or abandonment. In that it makes them reluctant to commit to someone. But you can overcome it. But my thing is that I think that's a common fear. I bet you that's a
Oh
common
yeah.
fear about among people.
No
I really
doubt.
do.
I would say hands down that's got to be a common fear.
Yeah.
Because looking back on it, I could say I was like that with my first marriage. Like that's completely understandable. Um, yeah, that's so sad. It's sad. My next one that I have is called ablutophobia, which is the fear of bathing. Ablutophobia may result from a traumatic event involving water or a fear of getting wet. In some cases, the phobia is related to aquaphobia, which is the fear of water. So they run neck and neck. But good
Mm.
God, I would not want to have that fear because your girl ain't walking around smelling like a $2 hooker. Uh.
Well, what's interesting is I wonder if my daughter has some kind of form of that fear because let me tell you about her. She loves the ocean. She loves the water. She's a water bug. She loves to swim. But she cannot stand to get wet with clothes on.
Huh.
Yeah, if you splash her with water and her shirt gets wet, it makes her sick
Yeah.
on her stomach. She can't do it. It like it makes her she's like
Yeah.
she can't stand it. If she have you ever like stood at the kitchen sink and leaned up against it and got water on your shirt?
Oh, I cringe. I can't stand. I'll be
Okay.
washing dishes and get a huge water spot, and I'm like, oh, and it makes me go in there and change. I can't stand it.
Well, see, that's her. That's her.
Yeah, me and sister got the same thing then, cause I love the water too. Now I can't swim, and I do have a fear of water, even though I love to go to the beach and I love to get into the swimming pool. But one of my biggest fears, and you haven't been with me, you'll eventually see it one day, I'm sure. But I damn near have a panic attack when I go over bridges
I
because
do too.
you do too,
Yes.
girl. And if somebody's driving, I have to close my eyes and I'll rock and I'll just hum or something. I can't even look
But
at
mine don't
that in
have to do with the
tunnels.
water. It has to do with feeling unstable to me. It's like my breath it wants to take my breath away.
Oh, mine is like because I can't swim is the bridge just collapsing and you can't save yourself because you can't swim. And then going under tunnels or in tunnels that are underwater.
Yep.
When we went to Detroit, oh my God, I thought Heather was going to smack me and knock me out. It was so bad because you could see the water leaking in that damn tunnel. I'm like, how is that safe? How
Yeah.
is that safe? That was so
Yeah.
scary.
Well, you mentioned tunnels. Mine's parking decks, bridges and parking decks.
Oh, really? Now,
Like
what is it the like closeness in the parking deck or?
I think so, and it's the fact that when you're in a parking deck, the roof is real small, and you feel like you're like packed in there. And I'm always
Yeah.
now if I will panic through it until we get to the top. Now if I'm at the top of the parking deck, I'm fine, and we're out in the open again. Because I don't know, and my husband laughed at me. I said, "Well, at least if it collapses, we're on the top deck and we'll survive." And he
Exactly.
said, "He said probably not." He said probably not. So but my thing is, it's like I don't know. As soon as I go in, I'm like, I'm like, oh god, I can't look, I can't breathe. And over bridges, I do the same thing. Like when I cross over a bridge, you could not get the finest thread up my booty hole. My booty hole gets so tight going over a
You
bridge.
can see my nail imprints
Me
in
too.
my hands from gripping the steering wheel so damn tight. And the thing you said about the parking, I can see that too because I be scared like that it could cave in, and it does give you claustrophobia because I have felt like that. And especially the higher up you go, it's like, dang, I'm having trouble breathing. Like the higher up, like that's so scary.
It is. It is. Oh, I can't stand it. Ooh. Ooh.
Oh, it gives me the
Okay.
heebie-jeebies.
I know. I know. It's like it's weird how many of these we have.
Uh huh.
It's okay. Another one is called somniphobia. SOMNIFOBIA. Somnophobia, and it's the fear of falling asleep. It says some people with somnophobia may be worried or obsessed throughout the day about how they can avoid sleep. They are afraid of what may happen when they fall asleep, such as nightmares or sleepwalking.
That is completely understandable because you see, I probably have a touch of that because you see how broken up my sleep is. I can sleep off and on in the daytime, and there are some times where I'll fall asleep on you like at night and stuff, but then I'm up in like an hour or two. But I hate sleep. I do. Like, I don't know if I'm afraid I'm going to miss something, and then your brain gets to working, and it's like, what if you don't wake up the next morning? And
Right.
dang, that's another phobia I got for sure.
Look how many we already realized we have.
I ain't like, hey, fuck a doctor bill. You got Dr. Bridget and Holly, baby.
That's right.
um, let's see. I got so many. There's so many, and they're all so good. Um, oh, now this next one that I'm gonna read, I think Tammy and JoJo have a little fear of this, but it's not. I'll read it first, and then I'll tell you what I mean. So it's called. Oh, okay. Let's see. Oompa umpalophobia, which
Is
is a
that afraid of
fear.
Oompa Loompas?
I know, right? It's either umpa or umpalophobia, which is a fear of belly buttons. People with umpalophobia will avoid seeing or touching belly buttons, even their own. They might even put a bandage over their belly button to avoid looking at it. They will sometimes avoid places where belly buttons might be exposed, like the beach. Now, Tammy and JoJo are not like that, but they cannot stand for anything to go in their belly button. And even when they wash, they don't stick their finger in their belly button to wash it because they said it makes their stomach hurt and it freaks them out. But I don't
Really?
have a problem with it. I can stick my finger and wash my belly button fine.
Yeah, I do my belly button with alcohol and a Q-tip.
Oh, do you? Now,
Uh-huh.
do you not like using a wash rag? Does it freak you out, or you just like just doing the alcohol because it's more sanitary?
Well, I do use the washcloth, but I'll be honest with you, I have such a little tiny belly button, you can't even hardly get your finger in there.
You know, mine too. Like if I put my pinky in there, I'm only gonna get like that much of my pinky in my belly button. I don't.
I think, can I be
I don't
honest
have
with
a
you? I
deep
think it's
belly
because we're
button.
fat. I think it's because we're fat. I think it.
You are not fat, ma'am. You have lost
I,
like 72 pounds,
I'm fat. I
probably
still.
more by
It don't.
now.
I probably need to lose another 72, darling.
Y'all don't listen to her. She's beautiful the
Listen.
way she is,
Oh, I'm
which
happy the
is
way I
not
am. Don't
fat.
get me wrong, but yes, I'm fat. Anyhow,
She's not.
you got Trypophobia. Trypophobia, y'all. It's a fear of holes. It's actually that one is actually linked to OCD, and researchers have found that people with trypophobia are more likely to experience other conditions too, such as depression and anxiety.
Oh wow.
Yep. And me and my daughter both have it, but I'm gonna show y'all some pictures. You might have it too. Something like that. Look at this. Like, wait, wait, cut that out. Look at this.
Oh god. My
Look at this.
butthole
Look
is
at this.
like puckered up so tight. Like I oh gosh.
So you have it too. Look at this. Look at this, y'all. Look at this.
Oh god. No, 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 no.
Like, look at this. Look at this, y'all. Look at this.
Is that real?
I don't know. No, I don't think it is. I think it's done with makeup, but at the same, why does that keep happening here?
Oh,
You
oh
have it,
that,
Holly. You have
that makes me want to
trypophobia.
throw up.
You have trypophobia.
Oh, God.
And welcome to trypophobia. I have it too. So you now have, it's linked to your OCD. You must have OCD. And you probably have anxiety and depression.
Yeah. Yep, I get that occasionally. That's for sure.
Our
I ain't
Spotify
gonna
people,
lie.
you can't see the pictures I showed, but I tell you what, go look it up. See how you feel about it when you see them
Bridget, I
pictures.
literally feel nauseous now. Like, I ain't gonna lie. I feel like
See,
I got to throw up.
see, it does. You have
I
it. You
feel
have
like I've got to
trypophobia.
throw up.
You
And
have it.
speaking of that, my next phobia I'm about to talk about, which I know I have, and it's called emetophobia, which is the fear of throwing up.
Metaphobia.
And it's spelled, I only want to spell it because I might be saying it wrong and you might know how to say it the correct way, but it's Emetophobia. So a metaphobia or a metaphobia
Emetophobia.
is
I've
what
got
I'm
it on my
thinking.
list too. Mm-hmm.
And um, I do have a fear of throwing up because, first of all, nobody likes to throw up. Second of all, I cry when I throw up, and I definitely get that from my mom. Me and my mama, and well, even JoJo, and y'all, it's so weird for her to not be my blood child that you would think I was her biological mom because she's so much like me. That's just so weird, but it it's just terrifying because when you throw one up, it's like, is it going to stop? And then it can stop, and you're still dry heaving, and you're in so much pain. Your chest hurts, your throat hurts. It's horrible. Like, that is one of my biggest fears, especially when I get sick. And I'm like, oh God, please don't let me throw up. Please, Lord, please, God, don't let me throw up. Like, I will pray from here to the high heavens. Please don't let me throw up. And if I've got Finnegan, I will pop me a Finnegan to keep that vomit down.
Mm-hmm. Now, do you know that people with emetophobia, I'm gonna call it that as well, they can actually avoid seeing vomiting on TV or movie shows because if they see it, they want to do it. Or they obsess over the location of bathrooms because they're always afraid they might throw up. They avoid anything that smells bad, avoid hospitals or people being sick, or they avoid hearing the words like vomit or the sound, you know. Um,
Yes.
they may use antacids excessively or avoid places where they're afraid of getting sick.
Yeah, and do you know that that can also be linked to being anorexic?
Really?
Emetophobia, that can also stem from being anorexic and bulimic. Yeah,
How about that?
anorexia and bulimic.
I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
I did not know
Yeah, I
that.
thought that was wild.
Yeah, so y'all, there's another one called I Have This. You notice every time we say, well, I
We
have
do,
this.
don't we? We
I have
do.
this. Okay, so another one is called Syngenzophobia. Syngeneso phobia. Syngenzophobia.
What is
It's a fe- it's
that?
it's a fear of relatives.
What?
Yeah, I'm scared of and don't like any of mine.
Oh my God. There
But
is a phobia for fear of relatives.
yeah,
I did not, I don't have that one on my list.
really, it says someone suffering from this condition can expect to experience a high amount of anxiety from merely thinking about their relatives, let alone seeing them. In
Oh,
fact, their anxiety may be so intense that they may endure a full blown panic attack as a result. Although such an influx of
what?
anxiety will not always be the case for everyone, people suffering from sagenophobia, it is very plausible to occur any of these symptoms to occur
Do
panic
you
attack,
feel like
stress.
that? Like, do you feel like you get anxiety or anything if you think about if
Not
you
not
have to
my
see
not my
things?
husband or his family or my
Not your
children.
immediate, yeah.
but my dad's side of the family or my mom's side of the family. First of all, I was estranged from my mom's side of the family, so the idea of seeing or meeting any of those or being around them, I don't like it. And my
That would just
dad's
be
side of the
awkward at this point.
Yeah, I know. And my dad's side of the family, I was estranged from all of them pretty much, except for my Aunt Kathy and my Grandma Helen. And I
His
love
mom.
them. I love them. But the rest of them I was estranged from because, as I've told y'all before, I don't mind sharing it. My husband's always like, I can't believe you share that so openly, honey. And I said, he said, is that hard for you? And I said, no. I said, I was a victim. But I was molested by my uncle when I was young. And the rest of my family went to his defense. And my dad was like, "No, he stole my daughter's innocence. I have nothing to do
Yeah.
with him." Everybody else wanted him to make up and be okay with it. So we pretty much left the rest of the family at that point, and we never really talked much to them since then.
And don't blame
Um,
you one bit either.
mm-mm.
Not one damn
So,
bit.
so it pretty much was just my dad, my grandma, and my Aunt Kathy. That was my family. But no, my close immediate family, I'm not. But if you start telling me I'm gonna have to go see or meet or run into some of my distant family, no, I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm scared of that.
Yeah, you're like, I'm good. I've been away from you for this long. I'm good.
I don't care to be around you.
Um, I thought this was cute. And I had to write it down. And I can imagine little kids being this way, maybe some adults, but it's called boogie phobia. It's the
Boogie phobia.
fear of the boogeyman.
Oh,
And it says sometimes the fear of the mythical boogeyman continues into adulthood. But let's be honest, who doesn't still get the urge to check under their bed from time to time? This girl does. Not surprisingly, this phobia is likely a result of watching one too many scary movies or parents telling their children the boogeyman is going to come and get them.
oh,
And I
I
do,
can see.
even,
Yeah, I can see that with parents telling their kids that.
yeah, and even as an adult, I probably do have a touch of boogie phobia because I don't know what it is. I can watch this, especially, good God Almighty, especially watching Jeepers Creepers. I don't know what it is about that movie, but if I'm laying in my bed and it's dead silent and I keep the light off, I don't know, I start hearing things and I'll take my phone and I'll go to look under my bed and I'll pull myself back and I'm like, I can't do it. I can't do it. What if I bend over and something's just gonna grab me? And do you know, I should have looked up a phobia for it because it's probably one. Do you know I have a fear of closet doors being open when I go to bed?
Really?
Yep, and I meant to look and do some research to see if there was a phobia for it. But I cannot and will not go to sleep if the closet doors are open. They have to be closed.
Okay, that's called entomophobia. The fear
Really?
of. And
God, please tell me it tells me why I'm like that.
well, I'd have to do some research on that, but
Oh, it didn't tell you how like the other ones told us that it stems from. Dang. Because I don't like.
it has to do with worry, fear, and anxiety, though.
Well, yeah, and I can say that because there are fears and worrying, which give me anxiety.
Yep, that is something. That is
That's
actually
because
something
nothing traumatic happened to me in a closet when I was little. I mean, my little
that you know
rendezvous.
of. You might have been little, and you have an older brother. They might have locked you in the closet when you was a kid.
No, none of our closets locked. It was the sliding doors. The only
Oh,
thing that happened to me in my closet, and we'll discuss this possibly on a future podcast, is
oh Lord.
my little rendezvous with Teddy. But that's for a whole nother other podcast. But other than that, nothing traumatic to why I'm afraid of. Maybe that stems from watching too many scary movies as well, like the Boogeyman.
Could be because they oftentimes come out of the closet. You know what I'm saying? Like,
That's true. Oh my God. Oh my God. It just dawned on me. My favorite scary movie is Poltergeist, and that movie come out when I was like probably 4 or 5. I literally have been watching that movie since I was probably 5 years old, and that little bitch gets sucked into the closet.
that's why
That's what
you.
they.
That's what it is.
That's what it is. Because Carol Lynn gets sucked into the closet, into the a whole nother realm. But see, we talked it out.
We just diagnosed you and we figured out why you
Yes.
have what you have.
I tell you,
Precious,
Dr. Bridget,
y'all.
I couldn't thank you enough. Please send me the bill in the mail. Hopefully, you'll go easy on me because I'm your best friend.
$999. I'm just kidding.
11.5 cents.
Yeah, this is free 99. I'm just kidding. Okay.
But wait, there's more.
Okay, so there's another one, y'all, that I have again.
I love
But
this.
and you can ask Holly because I one time we was on a podcast and I got her for this one. But mine is it's called me an intolerance to repetitive noises. So if you're sitting here and you're doing,
Yes, it drives her crazy.
I'm like, stop it, stop
She
it. Like
says
I
like
can't
nails on
stand
a
it.
chalkboard.
Yep, I can't stand it. Anything repetitive like that. If you're sitting there and you're tapping your pen, I'm like, oh, or kids crying. Like if you get a kid who's crying in public in a monotone way, like, uh, I want to, I want to slap that.
Shut the hell up.
Yeah, I hate it. I'm like, shut the fuck up.
You know what, Bridget? With that, what was the name of that one again?
Misophonia.
Misophonia. So I remember when me and you were talking about this either last night or night before, and I was telling you I think that I have that too. But this is what's so weird. Okay, I can sit here and click a pen. I can sit here and do my nails on the table. But if I hear anybody else do it, I cringe. I can't stand like Jason likes to beat on stuff a lot, like playing like he's playing the drums, and he'll beat on the steering wheel or he'll beat on the dashboard. I'm like, oh my god, will you please stop that? It's
Yeah,
so annoying. It's making me cringe. So
yeah,
if I do it, I'm okay. But anybody else,
yep.
uh, it's like nails on a chalkboard, which
Well,
is
I got a
another
couple
thing.
questions to ask you. If you're watching TikTok, you're fine with it. But if JoJo's watching it and flipping through it, does it bother you?
It does because oh my god, when Jason used to do it, because JoJo's the one that got us started on TikTok, and then at that time, because she told us about it, we took her off of TikTok. So it was like, she was like, "Dang it," because she was so young. But he started off on TikTok way before I did, and I'm like, "What are you listening?" Like, oh my god, please, you got to quit listening to that video. You driving me crazy. You making my stomach hurt.
Well, that's it. You've got misophonia too, and you got the touch of misophonia.
You think maybe we can get disability for this? We can get us a check.
I wish.
I know, right? Oh, my turn, ain't it? So okay. I am so glad I do not have this fear, and it's called Plutophobia, the fear of money. This is what it says. People with
I
this
thought you was going
fear,
to tell me the fear of Pluto.
I
The
know, right?
dog.
That's what when I first saw it, I was like, wait, what? But it says people with this fear may potentially sabotage their careers to avoid making more money or becoming wealthy. The fear of becoming wealthy may stem from a fear of the responsibilities and pressures associated with it or the fear of being the victim of a robbery. I can kind of see that. Like, if somebody look at you, they think you got money and they rob you or like kidnap you or something like that for ransom. But the way the world is now and the way prices are and people living paycheck to paycheck and it just struggling, this girl right here ain't never gonna have no plutophobia. I welcome money. Okay, I welcome the dollar bill.
Me too. I don't have. I don't have that. No.
No.
So there's another one called a nuptiphobia. A nut
Wait, what? Spell that one.
Anupta. Oh, phobia. Nuptophobia. It's phobia. An Anupta phobia. A
You know what I thought you
nuptophobia.
said? I
What?
thought you said a nut a phobia. That sounds like, wait a minute, let me get her to spell it. That might not be what she's saying.
Another phobia. But those
Oh, God.
people with a nuptiophobia it's a fear of being single. And they often find
Oh.
themselves in relationships where they move fast and then it fizzles out. Or they're that way because they've been in a miserable relationship. Um, but they have a fear of being alone. And I would say I know a lot of
Oh.
people with that because as soon as they're in one relationship, they are in a relationship, they're in another one.
I mean, I'm be completely honest with you. Like, I don't want to be alone. I do have a tiny fear of being alone, and I think my fear is not to have somebody love me, although it's nice to have somebody love you. But I think my fear is to be home alone and something happen and nobody's here to help me, or if I'm sick and not feeling good, if I fall in the shower or something like that. Like that is a fear of mine. And it was so funny because me and Tammy were talking the other day, and she's with somebody, I'm with somebody, and she literally said, if anything was to happen in this relationship, she wouldn't want another man. And I was like, wow, really? And she was like, yes. She was like, I would just be by myself. And
Me
I
too.
know she gets that from my mama because when my daddy died, my mama did date for like 2 years, but this guy was their best friend growing up. Like, he was a family friend. And after that, and we would try and set her up. And like, Mama, don't you want to go out with this guy? And she's like, leave me the hell alone. She's like, I'm good. She's like, I don't need a man. She's like, I don't want a man. She's like, I'm good.
Mhm.
And I love that they both are strong like that. And I hope as I get older, I'm the same way, like
Mhm.
I I don't want to be alone, as in just nobody around. I could deal with, if I got people coming over and family visiting and stuff like that. But that my biggest fear is you're home alone and just something just bad happens.
Well,
It's
I got three
scary.
things you can get to help you out with that. You need your life alert. Okay, that way if you fall and you can't get up, you can hit the button.
That's true.
You need your pit bull and a pew pew. That way if somebody breaks in, you can fix it.
A
Okay.
pit bull and a pew pew. My next door neighbor, she's known me since I was born. She, we all grew up in the same neighborhood, and I love her to pieces. And I'm down as her life alert emergency. And I thought
Oh,
that was so sweet because she had came over, and we were talking about it. She said, "Can I put you down?" I was like, "Oh God, yeah." And I got her cell number. She's got mine, and like I love that woman to death. Like I love her being our neighbor, and she's been our neighbor before I was born. But I've often thought about that as I get older. I ain't gonna lie, it's gonna sound horrible. Of getting a life alert. Cause you never know. Had that sucker right there and somebody come up on you. Oh yeah, go ahead. I'll hit this life alert button so fast.
well, it's good to have it, especially if you're older and alone. Now, I'm like
Yeah.
you said, Tammy's the one that said she wouldn't get in a relationship again.
Yep.
Oh, see, I wouldn't either.
Yeah, I
Mm-mm.
was gonna say, and you said that too. Like,
Mm-mm.
again, that's why I tell you why you remind me so much
Mm-mm.
of my mama. That it's insane. Like that's crazy, but I love it in a good way as well.
But you got to think. I am somebody like my husband, he's drove a truck for 30 some years. I'm here Sunday through Thursday most time by myself, and I don't turn TV on. I don't have anything on while he's not here.
But yeah,
I
yeah, she's
am,
got a pew pew, so don't be thinking nothing. Okay,
yeah,
okay.
I had a pit bull, and I'm
And
perfectly content by myself.
and she's
I'm
got a friend
perfectly
who could
content.
put the pedal to the metal real quick to get to her.
Yeah, and I'm not one that, like, the thought to me, the thought of having to nurture another relationship,
Uh-huh.
tolerate another man, teach another man, I ain't all about that. I just want to be alone. I actually would go, if I went out to dinner with a guy, let's say something happened to me and Miss Ronnie, and I went out to dinner with somebody, I would keep a limit of 3, maybe 6 months on a relationship, and when they started getting serious, I'd be like, yeah, I'm out, I'm done. You,
Really?
yep, you can't spend the night. I don't want to spend the night at your house. Mm-mm. Nope.
Now,
You
got
can't.
a question. And
Go
I
ahead.
know this is going a little off of our podcast topic, but would you want that for just like the companionship, or are you at the age now to where you can take boom boom or leave it? Do you think you'd be like, okay, I need the physical touch from a man and all that, or it would just be just a man companion, just somebody to go out with and eat dinner and chit chat, or would you want to bow chicka bow bow?
Well, I mean, if I went out on a date, it would be more for companionship. If it led to wow, chicka, wow, wow,
Uh
I
huh.
mean, yeah, we could do that too. But I would, it would, my thing would be as soon as that's over, you got to go. You got to go.
Because no strings attached, nobody
No
catches
strings
feeling.
attached. Yeah, I don't want
So,
nobody laying there cuddling or nothing like that. You got to go.
so do you think you'd be able to have a male companion and do bound chicka bound bound when you want it and not have strings attached? Like mentally, would you be able to do that? See, I
Yep.
don't think I could. I couldn't. I
Yeah,
wouldn't
I
be able
definitely could.
to be with, like, Lord forbid if something happened, to Jason. I don't think I could be in another, like, physical relationship like that. And if I was, I don't think I could do it with no strings attached. But for men, it is easy for some women, but it's really easy for men.
Yeah.
We're gonna make a podcast that, we're gonna talk about this on
But see,
another
you
podcast.
got to realize my dad raised me, so I have more of a men's mentality when it comes to stuff like that.
Yeah, no, that's true. Your dad raised you. That's
Hey, he
right.
had a lot of influence on me. I
But
wouldn't
that's
want,
good though. That makes you
yeah,
stronger.
it does. And like I said, if a man, if let's say I had somebody like that and a man started saying, I'm really getting to where I'm starting to care about you, I would ghost the fuck out of him.
Really?
Fuck yeah. Don't
Oh
care
my
about me.
god.
Don't care
Oh,
about
but
me.
I
Mm-mm.
so could see you doing that. Like, cause you were so badass. I could see you being like voice memo. Yeah, bitch, let me tell you. I ghosted the fuck out of Carl today.
Carl. We done named him Carl.
I know,
You gonna
I don't
have
know
Mr. Ronnie
why.
good. He's gonna be on my Facebook looking up every fucking Carl I know.
Miss Ronnie, I made that name up. It just come to mind. I
What's so
swear to
funny
God.
is it's
Swear to God.
my daughter-in-law's dad's name's Carl.
No, oh my gosh. We're not talking about you, Mr. Carl, okay? We're not talking about you. We're talking
Brittany,
about
not
imaginary Carl.
Brittany, it's not your dad, I promise. I promise.
Oh my god.
All right,
Um,
you go, girl. We got off the subject a little bit. That's all right. That's fun to do sometimes.
that it is, it is. So I got a bunch more phobias, but I know we both also have a top five list. Do you want to name some more phobias, or do you want to start with our most common?
Let's just wrap this up. We might do another show talking about some more of them, but we did want to share with you the top 10 most
Yes.
common phobias. And you hit it with the top 5 there, Holly.
Okay, so my top five is number one is social phobia.
Mm-hmm.
Being in like a crowd of people, it triggers anxiety for a lot of people. Just that social fear. They want to just be one on one and not, with a group of people. I will have to say, even though I work in the public, I have a little bit of social phobia,
Mm-hmm.
but mine is more. I'll give you a perfect example. Like when our family was really big before everybody started dropping off and dwindling. And we would have like big Christmases and big Thanksgivings and weddings and things like that. I loved getting together with my family. I did, but so many of us, it wouldn't give me anxiety, and I would
Mm-hmm.
have to step outside, away from the crowd, to just mentally get myself back together and calm myself down. And I don't know why, because I love everybody, and nobody
Mm-hmm.
would be doing anything. It just, I think that comes hand in hand with my claustrophobic, that I, because I'm very, very claustrophobic. And when you're
Mm-hmm.
in a room and you've got like 100 family members right there, and you just feel like the walls are kind of closing in. So I think that runs
Mm-hmm.
neck and neck for me.
You might have
Um,
that one phobia, the phobia, where you have fear of relatives.
oh, that could be. That could be. You're right about that. And y'all, number two that made the list was the trypophobia that Bridget was showing us the pictures of, with the fear of circles of clusters. That made number two on the list. Number three is ad adichophobia, if I'm saying that right, which is a fear of failure. I
Mm-hmm.
can understand that too, because nobody likes to fail, but failing is a part of life, and it's how you learn and how you grow. Just
Mm-hmm.
because you fail at something does not make you a failure. You just get back up and you keep trying and trying again.
I think you have
Um
this next one.
Yet this one is me hands down. Bridget will tell you, like, this woman knows me probably better than I know myself, and it is thanatophobia, or how would you say that, Bridget? How would you
Yeah,
pronounce
I'd say thanatophobia. Uh-huh.
thanatophobia? And what that is the fear of death.
Yeah.
I
Mm-hmm.
am terrified. I am petrified of death. The
And
thought
not
of
just
it,
for yourself, with other people, right? With
yeah, it's
anything.
not
Yeah.
just on me. Like, when you start talking about like things that happen in your family, and you're like, oh, I'm gonna be like this when my how my dad was, and like with his kidneys or just stuff like that. I'm like, Bridget, no, 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 no. I'm like, no, you're not. No, you're not. So it's not just about myself. It's about my family and the people I care about. I'm
Mm-hmm.
constantly, cause yeah, I'm gonna tell you something. Y'all might laugh at me, cause my family does laugh at me sometimes. I pray. That they don't laugh because I pray, but I pray at night. And when you pray, you go down your list of people who you want God to watch over and protect, and stuff like that. And mine's a mile long. I'm naming this person and that person and this person and that person. And my list can go on for so long I end up falling asleep. But
Do you name your pets?
yep, I
I do
name
too.
Ruger,
Oh,
Riggs. Yeah,
painful
like
little Reba.
anybody that I
Oh.
love and care about, they have to be in there. And I think that's a little bit of my OCD as well, because I can't leave somebody out. Because if I do, I'll go back and say, "Oh my God, I forgot to say this person, and that person." But that's just how I've always been. I've always been like that. And then the last one, number five, is called nosophobia, which is a fear of developing a disease, which is another phobia that I have, because we can't see the inside of our bodies. We have to rely on x-rays and MRIs, CAT scans and all this stuff. So because it's the unknown, well, unseen and a little unknown, that's one of my biggest fears too, is like, oh my God, what if I got this going on with this body part or this body part? And I think that's probably why I do go to the doctor as much as I do, to get everything checked
Yeah.
and stuff like that. That's definitely another fear that I have. But yes, the fear of developing a disease.
Yep. Now she said last one. She meant last of her five, because I've got the
Yeah,
continuation of
because I
six
got
through
top
10.
five. She's got another top five.
Yeah, and the other most common fear is arachnophobia, which is the fear of spiders.
Who
Okay.
me? I got that.
Yep. And vehophobia, which is the fear of driving. Okay.
I got
Vehophobia.
fear of driving at night sometimes. Do you think that was the same, or it'd probably be different because it's nighttime?
Might be different because it's nighttime. I think a lot of people have that, and it's probably just because you're afraid of, like, I've heard you say, "Oh, deer's gonna jump out," or "I can't
Yeah.
see good," something like that. And then you have claustrophobia. Fear of
Me.
closed spaces, and that's me. I do have that too. I can't even go through an MRI machine without being sedated.
Oh wow.
Acrophobia, which is the fear of heights, I have that.
Me too. I've never been on a roller coaster. Wait,
And
have you been on a roller coaster?
oh yeah, I go on roller coasters all the time. I like that thrill. I like that thrill, but I'm
Oh
still
my god,
scared to
how are you
death to be
able to
that high.
do that?
I do like it. I do like it.
And being up that high doesn't freak you out,
It does, but I love
but
it.
you
I
just
love that's the whole
overcome it.
idea. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I've always wanted to try and overcome that fear. So I can just say for once I was on a roller coaster.
Yeah. And then you got aerophobia, which is the fear of flying.
Me,
You
I've
got
never
that one?
flown.
How about it?
I've never flown
You
before.
got quite a few of them.
I know. There is one phobia that I do want to mention that I think that my husband has.
What's
And
that?
y'all all heard the devastating news that I always say on our podcast how he does not take the trash out. Well, my husband, and I hate to say it, but he is a trash can of phobia. And what that is you all know, is a fear of taking out the trash.
He's got trash can
So,
phobia.
Jason, it is a real phobia, but bitch, you got to overcome it and step up your game and get through it and dump this damn trash.
That's
That's all I'm
right.
gonna say.
On that note, y'all, I hope you learned if you have a phobia or not. You might have realized that you got one you didn't think you had. But we hope you've enjoyed this podcast. And Holly, you take us out.
Y'all, we just want to let y'all know we're doing two series. One is Confessions, where you can email us at bridgetandholly@gmail.com. We are also doing an advice column, Ask Bridget and Holly, where if you've got any trouble, any problems, you just need, just a shoulder to cry on and need some, grounded advice, somebody outside the box, outside the situation that could sit there and help you and try and rationalize things with you. Send us an email. You will rename. You will be anonymous. We will have a code name for you if you don't. I know I botched that all up, y'all.
You will rename
You
anonymous.
will be known. You will be you. You
She
know
was
what I'm
trying
trying
to
to
say
say.
remain.
Remain unanimous, anonymous, not unanimous. God, we about to make it unanimous that this damn podcast episode is about to be over. But yeah, we are also on Spotify. Don't forget, if you have not yet subscribed, not yet hit that notification bell thingy up there, do it. Tune in every Tuesday, every Friday for new episodes that will air at 11 p.m. And on that
Yeah.
note, we love y'all so very much. Thank you for tuning in.